It's gonna it's going to be awesome. It's going to be exciting this weekend. Eva, good morning. Great to see everyone. Well, I cannot believe we have 4 days left for this convention, and I know there's a lot of anticipation for the convention. And it being the last convention of 2026, I know we've been talking a lot about how really the convention has convention is your greatest opportunity to um, identify and sort and develop your next generation of leaders, your leaders. And convention isn't just to hear the announcements of the exciting new products that we're going to hear about this weekend, which some of you are smart. Some of you, I saw some of the conversations and activities. Some of you are smart because you're like, hey, what has been announced in Korea, and you're searching. And some of you been very good and patiently waiting for what's about to happen this weekend. But good news is there's some that's been um, announced in Korea, but there's more that hasn't been announced. So this weekend is going to be super exciting, and I know a lot of you that are very, product strong, product focused, and you love promoting new, powerful product that's so different in the market. You're gonna love the announcements from this weekend. It's what they're gonna see and what they're gonna hear and what they're gonna experience and what we're gonna have access to using ourselves, but more importantly, what we're gonna have access to in promoting and offering, to our customers and our communities with these new products. It's I mean, some of it is stories they've never even heard, and some of it it's just the science and the technology behind it, and the anticipated results that's going to happen by people using the product. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So I know this weekend we're going to have so much fun, and there's going to be so much excitement that's going to happen from the product announcements this weekend, and it's just going to add so much momentum and growth and excitement and activities and volume and success to your business this weekend. But I want us to have the right full perspective of the convention. It's convention isn't just for there. Sometimes we look at convention like, hey, I got this team. I got a team that's working with me of my 10 people, 50 people, 100 people, 500 people, 1,000 people, how many ever people. I got this team working with me, and I cannot wait for me and my team to hear the announcements. Some people approach the convention like that being the dominant focus, 80, 90% of promoting the convention, trying to see what more of my team members could go. And I promise, that impact is powerful. Yes, people are going to get so much out of the new announcements. Um, I wish I could tell you more, but you just got to wait 4 more days. I'm not going to spoil it. You want to be there to fully experience all the announcements that's going to happen. It's not just the product announcements. There are other announcements that will enhance the overall picture of Riman truly shaping to become who we are all creating and building together to create, a multi-billion dollar entity that is helping millions and millions of people around the world with not just with great skincare solution, but also with great opportunity financially and overall community for them to enjoy. So it's we got full of announcements. So announcements are a big part of the weekend for the existing partners. Yes, that's very true. And some people love the convention for the trainings. And I mean, I will tell you, my long, 2.5 decades of going to conventions and events and learning, I would say most of the most impactful stories and ideas I've learned it through training settings similar to conventions or like masterclass or leadership training we're going to have on Friday. I mean, outside of personal development of audio, Jim Rohn audio listening, I would say literally 95% of the lessons that I apply and lessons that I teach have came from convention settings and leadership training sessions and like the masterclass focused topic sessions like where we're going to have this Friday. So yes, it's exciting to attend the training, promote the training, and anticipate the growth of not ourselves, but everybody that's going with us. So that's super exciting. And the third piece, that I think that there's some people do a great job of, but a lot of people miss about the convention. In my whole career, last minute invite to conventions gave me the next chapter of superstars, almost every season of my career. As many of you know the story, that even who's going to be promoted this weekend, National Director Miss Karen Kong, right? I've literally met her days. I met her on Zoom days before the convention. And we invited her to convention literally just 1 week, just a few days prior to the convention. She could have easily said it's too last minute. Every excuse, every reason why could have popped up, for her, just like it does for everybody else. It's not that those thoughts don't go through our mind. It's just she made a different decision, right? And she came with her friend Dora, who came to the event for the very first time, and which Karen hearing about the convention being last minute, which means she, as a brand new person that hasn't done anything yet in the business, that haven't gone through training, much training yet in the business yet, that hasn't understood the compensation yet, that hasn't understood all the details of the company yet. But she invited also her friend last minute, just a few days before the convention, Dora, and both of them came to the convention. And this weekend, they're getting promoted as senior director and national director. We have other directors being promoted this weekend. I remember, one of the gentlemen that, well, he's going to be promoted this weekend, Eduardo and Abby. I remember literally, he lived in Las Vegas. I remember having conversation with him just last year. And just a couple days before the convention. It was just a couple days before the convention. And I'm thinking to myself, he lives in Las Vegas. I should have him come, instead of me trying to explain the powerful opportunity of Riman, let him see it, at the convention. And we just invited him to the convention. He came as a guest. He came as a guest with him and his wife and the baby, and they saw it and they caught the vision at the convention. And this weekend they're going to be being promoted as a director this weekend. I could tell you, Mr. Tim Her and Mr. Chris Kim. Yes, the first conversation we had it at Mr. Timmer's house. In the garage, right, Chris? In the garage, we were talking till like, I don't know, 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning. But that conversation, I didn't succeed in presenting and recruiting. I didn't succeed. I failed. Okay, it didn't happen. But next time we connected was when we were having a convention. Everybody said, "Hey, that's not true." Prior to that, I invited them after that to the Vegas event. But it was last minute. Last minute, we talked about it. We invited them to Vegas. They flew out, literally in and out, same day. They flew in, they attended the event, they flew out Saturday night immediately. But they came and saw the picture, and they caught the opportunity. But of course, there were commitments and different responsibilities. It wasn't an easy decision. Being in one business for 15 years, making change or making different decisions, not an overnight thing. And they saw it. They didn't get involved, but they saw it and they watched. And a few months later, when we had the next convention in Irvine, it was the next time that I invited them to the convention. Instead of me trying it, how many of you agree I know how to do a presentation? How many of you agree I know the story of Riman? I know how to share the story. And as we do that every day, I just know that me storytelling and me sharing the opportunity of Riman to someone that hasn't joined yet, to a prospect, if you want to call it a prospect, for future leader potential candidates, there's nothing I could say, there's nothing I could do for that person, for them to see the vision and catch the opportunity and make a leader commitment the way that convention could. So I utilize convention for, for me to recruit the next leaders, that I know have the potential to become directors and senior directors and national directors. I know Mr. Michael On is going to be teaching in the master class this Friday. Senior director, Mr. Mike Lon, him and his partners, we known them for a long time. We used to work together, and they weren't engaged. My first year and a half of being in Riman, they weren't involved in Riman. They had other businesses going, and instead of me trying to explain more, him and his partners, what we did was we invited them. We invited them to the California convention in Irvine, and the convention is where they caught the vision. Convention is where they made the decision, and to perfectly be honest, every single one of these invitations to these leaders, it wasn't 2 months prior to the convention we promoted the convention and invited. Most of them happened within literally last few days prior to the convention, and I do that intentionally because last minute invitation, in my opinion, is the most powerful invitation. We don't do what was originally planned in our daily lives. We do what pops up as a last minute with priority, with importance being communicated. That's what you end up altering and reorganizing and reprioritizing your schedule all the time. I didn't want to set things up 2 months prior where last minute more important thing pops up, and it replaces the original plan that we had. I wanted to be that last minute important thing that pops up to reschedule and reprioritize their weekend. Does that make sense to you? So I could tell you right now, yes, it seems like it's easier to, oh man, I should have invited them a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, when flight was cheaper or when they didn't have any scheduled yet. Most of the times, that's not what happens. That's not what we do. Is not what was originally scheduled. It's the last minute thing that gets communicated as an important priority, and that pops up as a surprise. But yet, it's taken on. It's received as, hey, I got lucky. I got to find out 2 days before, one day before. It's happening this weekend. I know it's last minute, but it's important. I believe that that's even more powerful conversation for someone to, have the invitation to the event. And I could tell you, throughout my career, it's over and over and over again that I spoke to someone 1 day prior, 2 days prior, 4 days prior, 7 days prior, and invited them. And it wasn't people that were just local. I remember inviting this person. Michael and Tommy probably remember. We had a long story short. This lady, one of the leaders from Maui, she was in California. She was at a real estate conference, and she saw. I don't know if you could do that today, but back then, people were doing it more. Like, she saw the next conference. Well, no, she was at a leadership conference. Next room was a real estate conference. She saw a person walk out that was super sharp. And this Hawaiian lady went up to her and she said, "Are you Korean?" Now, I don't know if you could do that today and get away with it in California. But back then, what she did, she's like, "Hey, I work with this rich Korean person." I want to introduce you to that person. I mean, that was her pitch. How many of you agree that's not a good pitch? But this person, literally, they exchanged information, and she put her on the phone with me, and we got into talking, and we literally had convention in Charlotte, North Carolina, 6 days from there. Just 6 days later, she lives in Seattle. We spoke 6 days later. She booked her own ticket, she booked her own hotel, she spent her own money, and she flew over to the convention. She knew nothing about the opportunity. She hasn't seen the presentation yet until what she saw at the convention. After the convention, she had a flight booked to Sunday, 3 p.m. to head back to Seattle, and literally after the convention, as soon as after the convention, we went to the rental car in a minivan with the laptop at 1 p.m. right after the event, and she signed up, got started in the business, and she ended up becoming, one of the biggest leaders in the market. And she ended up building teams internationally and building other markets. It was absolutely incredible. So I could just tell you right now that this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity that I've seen it happen so many times in my career that we have 4 days left, right? We got in 4 days on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be in Las Vegas. Even last week, I had a really cool thing happen last week. My daughter said, "Hey, I want to surprise you. Can I take you somewhere?" I said, "Super cool. That never happened before." She takes me to this cool new coffee shop. I guess it's like exotic car, club rental place with coffee shop. So she's like, "Oh, look at all these cool cars." I thought it was cool. My daughter took me there. She wouldn't let me pay for coffee. She paid for my coffee. I was super excited. I was in good mood. And we're just talking about cars because she brought me there. And I was like, let's go look at some cars for fun. And we ended up going to this warm dealership, and we're looking at cars. Now she's starting college. We set some goals. When she hits it, I may upgrade her car or whatever. And we're just talking about looking at a car. And there was this young dealership salesperson, super motivated. I mean, he was motivated. He's young. He's 18 years old, aggressive is talking. And he's like, "What do you do?" And I said, K Beauty, Korean skincare. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I've been wanting to be a distributor for something like that. I've been looking at products." I said, "You don't want to do it on your own. Partnering with the best brand is the best." He said, "Oh my gosh, I want to know more about it." And this guy, during the test drive, the whole time he's asking questions about the opportunity. So I said, "Well, we have a convention next weekend." He said, I'm requesting day off for next week right now. And he requested a day off, and is coming to the convention. And I just introduced him to one of the local distributors here, for them to follow up with. But I'm just telling you right now that last minute invites are the best, and they truly are the best opportunity to find your future leaders and your future candidates. So I know we've been promoting hard to our teams. I know we've been promoting hard to our existing leaders and existing partners. Last 4 days, I want to encourage all of you to really step out of comfort zone and invite everybody, even a brand new prospect, even a brand new person you never talked to before. Your chicken list, the people that you've been afraid to recruit on your own, right? And your chicken list, we call that chicken list. Best way to expose them to the opportunity is the convention. Contact every single one of them. It will be worth it. Why? Because it won't just recruit them. If they're the right people, what I love about people starting at the convention as a first exposure, they don't just sign up, they don't just buy, they don't just decide to join. They decide and they join with the intention from day one on thinking big of becoming a director or senior director or national director. We got director promotions this weekend. We got senior director promotions this weekend. We got national director promotion this weekend. People are going to say, "Hey, if she could do it, he could do it, I could do it." Many people will be making those decisions this weekend. And the best person in your team that can make that decision is a brand new prospect that comes and makes that decision. Imagine you invited someone last minute. Just think about this. Think about how powerful this will be. You talk to someone today, that person agrees to come to the convention this coming Wednesday, just 2 days before the event. They come to the event, they're blown away. Let's face it, what's happening in the world today, people are needing opportunity more than ever. People are looking for a solution more than ever, with uncertainty of what's happening in everything, right? Hey, let's face it, it's prediction. People are trying to predict the movement of the market for their future. I mean, 6 months ago, everybody said interest rate was going to go down. No, it's going up. 6 months ago, everybody said this year the crypto market is going to go crazy, bananas. Everybody's going to make a fortune. No, like most people's crypto portfolio went down 40, 50, 60% this year, right? The people are like, oh my gosh, the stock market is going to crash. It went up, and it's like, oh, it's going to continue to go up. And what's happening? Korea's stock market last 45 days crashed 40%. And it just affected, the US market, few points last week. So like you can't predict, you can't put your future. I'm telling you right now, more people are concerned about their future financially than ever. People are more confused. They're looking for answer than ever. And you just never know. They could be a multi-millionaire. They could be multi-six-figure earners. They could be successful entrepreneurs. They could have been people that had great career for 10, 20 years. There's more uncertainty in the market. Many of the workforce, they're like, is AI replacing my job? Is companies laying off? Many of the tech companies are moving, laying people off. I mean, people are not talking about it. Yes, people are talking about the, soccer and baseball and Spider-Man, coming out. People are talking about those, but internally in their mind, people are uncertain with what's happening, looking for solutions, looking for answers, and people are desperate right now. And there are millions of people looking for a solution, looking for an opportunity. They could be in control of their finances and their future. Everybody's not safe, and people are looking for something they could control and they could build. And this will be just like all I mentioned was, what do you do? When the car salesperson asked me, what do you do? I said, I work with K-Beauty, #1 K-Beauty brand, Korean skincare brand that launched in the United States. That's all I said. And this guy jumped all over it. Man, I've been looking for something like that. I was talking to a multi-millionaire Airbnb guru. I mean, this guy is like super famous online, social media. He's got millions of followers, and we're talking about it. And we were, when we were talking just a couple of months ago when we met, we're talking about what I do at K-Beauty. And immediately what he said? He said, man, I've been looking at K-Beauty. I've been looking at launching my own Korean skincare brand because I see what's happening there. Everybody that's aware of everybody that's, that understands trends, that understands timing and opportunity, doesn't matter if their background is finance, doesn't matter if their background is real estate, people are looking to participate and be part of Korean skincare business movement. And the reality is, how hard it is to find your own product, make your own product, have inventory of your own product. They don't have to do any of that. People could literally join partnership with us and market the best-selling product, best product that we all know that produce results better than anything else on the planet. And they don't have to do anything. They don't have to do anything. They could just market it and make an absolute life-changing income through this opportunity. We just got to show more people that. We got to show more people that. I know we have a lot of partners, but I could tell you right now, there are people you haven't talked to. And every single one of us have people on our phone, a list, a chicken list, or we just cross them out. We prejudge, saying that they're not going to be interested. They're too successful. They're too busy. They have too many things going on. They're too negative about a business model like this. Whatever the reason may be that we have prejudged, I want to encourage you this week. Why? Because this is the last convention of the year. We're not going to have a convention for a very long time. And if you're thinking, hey, I want to change my life in the next 4 years of time between now until 2030, which we believe is a gold rush opportunity time in K-Beauty movement. If you're saying that, you got to look at it like, how many opportunities do I have to leverage convention to recruit future leaders? You don't have many. I mentioned that a few days ago that there's a high chance that starting 2027, we're only going to have one convention a year in each region. We're going to have one in North America, one in Asia, one in Europe. So if that's what's going to happen between now until 2030, how many convention opportunities, how many opportunities do you have to invite someone like Karen and Dora? It's invite someone like Chris and Tim, invite someone like, Mr. Steve Hyun, and invite someone like Michael, invite someone that becomes your future national directors and senior directors. How many opportunities do you really have? You don't have that many. You could literally count it with your hands. And you want to take advantage of that opportunity now. And so, I believe that I know many of us been promoting, but I know we haven't gone above and beyond. There is more. You have more. When you feel like you've already done everything you got. And I could promise you, it's the person you haven't talked to. It's the person you haven't invited yet. It's the person that's been on your chicken list and you haven't executed yet. It's that person that you take the courage and you contact them today, tomorrow, next day, next 4 days, and we give our very best in inviting. You're going to have the greatest story. Imagine that person that confirms to come on Wednesday, that comes this weekend, and they make the decision. And they see the promotion of Karen getting promoted as a national director, and they said, you know what? I love her story, and I want to learn in this environment. I want that to be my story, and they make that decision. They come out of the convention absolutely running, hitting the ground, and become the fastest team leader and fastest director, fastest senior director, and your first national director in your team story because you made that decision to invite that person to the convention this weekend. I believe that's going to happen for somebody. I want that to happen to all of you. And I could promise you, if you could get yourself and everybody in your team to focus the same way and truly promote and absolutely give absolute very best and go through the list and contact the list that we haven't tapped into and get out of our comfort zone to do it next 4 days. I know life-changing stories are going to come out of it this weekend. So this weekend is going to be awesome. I know tonight, we're going to be having our monthly rundown. We got the August promotion that's going to be announced. Of course, we're going to have the recognition of the many of the leaders. And tonight will be the perfect time. Now, some of you are going to have this conversation I'm having with you, with your teams today. If you want them to hear it, from larger scale, hear from many other leaders that are going to be talking about their convention experience, get them on the call tonight. Tonight on the monthly rundown, yes, we'll have recognition. Yes, we'll have announcements. Yes, we will announce the August promotion. That's all going to be exciting. But you're also going to be hearing many leaders' stories about what convention has done for them. And this is your last opportunity to get them part of an event, company event, that we will help you with your team to help them to, open up their mind and open up their comfort zone a little bit, for them to take additional actions and promote their last minute prospects and last minute invites and be more, have posture and have the positioning to really get another person there, get a few more people there, get another large group there this weekend. So tonight, it's going to be awesome. Convention is August 7th, 8th, and 9th. First time we're doing the masterclass setting starting at 12 o'clock. I'm sure most of you RSVP. I saw, all the master classes are almost full. So it's going to be very exciting. Look forward to seeing you there. 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. leadership training. We've given a lot of trainings and a lot of leadership trainings. I've never given leadership training like what we're about to share for this Friday. We've been preparing this for a long time, and we got a straight 2-hour leadership training from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. You're going to want every single one of your senior managers, every single one of your partners to be there to make sure that they hear the message this weekend. You want your leaders bulletproof? Make sure they're there this Friday. You want your leaders to be to really understand leadership and overcome any challenges that come their way. Make sure that they're there this Friday. If you want them to be so clear on what to do, what to teach, and what to duplicate, and start running towards growing their business 10 times bigger, you want them there this Friday. This Friday leadership is an event that you do not want your partners to miss. Make sure that everybody's there this Friday. And at Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have a great time. And of course, Sunday night for directors and above, we're going to be having a director party at the house. It's going to be awesome. So we look forward to seeing everybody there. I know we have Mr. Timmer and Mr. Chris Kim. They have a meeting, and we have guests in town, from, I believe, from Spain. They're all together there. I know Mr. Timmer is driving, but I've asked him if he could share some last minute thoughts to close out the call. Mr. Timmer, thanks for joining us.
You gave the perfect thing for everybody to be focusing on right now. It is exactly what you just said. Is we've got to make sure no matter what that we've got every brand new person that we possibly can get there. That's the magic, right? The magic to this business is getting those last minute type people there that you gave so many testimonials and stories. And I was going to say a little bit about that, but you did such a great job. What I want to do is maybe just kind of give you some insights to everybody on what to do while you're at the convention. When you're at the convention, one of the things that's helped me out the most is getting my newer people to make sure that whenever they get home that they've got a packed schedule of people to talk to, making sure that while they're there they're using the convention as an opportunity to recruit, right? And we teach something called the tee up, right? Is teeing people up. And how we do that is basically like this: is I give somebody a call if I'm a guest at the convention. I mean, if I'm a brand new person at the convention, I've got to call my guest. And basically what we do, we teach people to call their prospects or send a text message to their prospects saying, hey, look, you know what, I'm in Vegas taking a look at a company. And if this thing's as big as I think it is, you know, when I get back home, we might need to talk, right? We need to talk. And basically what we're doing is teeing everybody up, right? So if somebody sends out, 30, 40, 50 text messages saying, hey, look, you know what, I'm in Vegas right now taking a look at something. If this thing's as big as I think, when I get home, we're going to definitely need to talk. And we continually keep doing that over and over and over again and invite about 20 people or get about 20, 30, 40 people excited and passionate about the opportunity, about taking a look at it. And then what we do is we call them or text them or call them right before the convention is over saying, hey, this thing's way bigger than I thought. As soon as I get back, I'm going to be back on Monday. I'm going to be back on Tuesday. As soon as I get back on Tuesday, we need to connect. And what happens is if we do that with all of our people in our organization, now, obviously, we're not going to be able to do it with every single person because, a lot of you guys have got so many people coming to the convention. But if you get the majority of the people understanding the fact that use this event as an opportunity to be able to recruit, what will happen is whenever your brand new people or your newer people get back home, they're going to have a ton of people to be able to talk to. And then what's going to happen is they're going to get a ton of brand new people to get started, right? Because we all know, we've heard, Mr. Jim Rohn talk about the law of diminishing intent, right? We intend to when the idea strikes us, we intend to when the information is hot. But if we don't take action, that emotion will be lost, right? So it's kind of like Jim Rohn always says, hey, if you get inspired to start working out, jump on the ground and start doing push-ups, right away. Like, don't even wait. Because whenever that idea comes into your mind, you've got to take action. If not, the emotion will be lost. So we want to make sure while the emotion is hot and people are excited and people are fired up, that they're not just there, taking videos and creating content, but they're really doing a really good job of teeing up everybody in their that they know in their contact list. So when they get back home, they've got a lot of brand new people to be able to talk to. And then what happens is your brand new people or your newer people anyways that have gotten started in the last few months, they're going to have a bunch of brand new people getting started. And we want to come out of this event on fire, right? We want to be coming out of this event absolutely on fire. So that's the biggest thing that I would suggest is something that, Mr. Danny Bay and I would always do a really good job of, back whenever him and I used to work together, back whenever he first got started in the profession, him and I would make sure that we got everybody together and we would set up, at least 10 to 20 people to have contacts for them to be able to meet with people whenever they get back. The other biggest thing I would suggest that everybody do is to open up your heart. You know, we all know that success in anything that you do is a series of aha moments, right? Is having that aha experience to say, okay, I'm going to take it to the next level. I'm going to step it up to the next level. We want to make sure that each and every one of us, we have our hearts open and our minds open, and we're looking for those ideas. We're looking for that information that's going to click in our mind. So when we leave, we're not the same person that we are going into the convention, right? When you walk into that Vegas convention and you walk out of that Vegas convention, you want to make sure you're not the same person walking out as you were walking in. And the only way to be able to do that is to open up your heart and open up your mind. You've got to be looking for those ideas. You got to be looking for that information. You got to be looking for that testimony, or you never know when that awakening might be, right? It might be a product announcement. It might be a leadership setting with, that Danny Bay says something and just bam, opens up the floodgates. But we got to realize that that's how everybody becomes successful in our profession that I've ever met, is whenever they make that decision, they make that commitment, but it's something that somebody says. It might be a conversation, right? It might be a conversation at the team leader party. I don't know where it's going to happen, but I can tell you, if you open up your mind, to make sure that you're not the same person walking out as you were walking in. That's how that's going to happen for you. So we've got an opportunity right now to be able to push, just like Mr. Danny Bay says. We want to get those last minute contacts there. In this moment in time, it'll never be recreated again. This moment in time, it'll never be duplicated again. So we got to make up our mind and make up our heart right now to say, hey, look, you know what? I'm going all out. I'm going all in. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to get a guest or two out, and let's go all out massive action. Let's come out of this event this weekend different than we were walking in, and let's make sure that that same thing happens for all the people on our team. Mr. Danny Bay, what a great call. Exactly the message that we need, the exact plays that we need that we need to call in order to succeed. And I think this moment in time, you guys, we're going to come out of this event hotter than we've ever came out, and we're going to set up appointments for everybody to get back to connect with people, to meet with people, and there's going to be a lot of brand new planners getting started as we come out of this convention. So, Mr. Danny Bay, appreciate this call. I got a lot of great information. I know everybody did. It was perfect information, and I can't wait to see everybody this weekend, Mr. Danny Bay.
Thank you very much, Mr. Timmer. I know we also have National Director, Mr. Chris Kim, on the line. I know he's also at the Irvine office. Mr. Chris Kim, share a few words with us, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much. Every Monday, when I promote your event, I call it the morning cup of coffee with Mr. Danny Bay for all team leaders and higher. And I believe, it's calls like these that get us in the mode and get us into the right mindset. And, what we understand is, the convention is the ultimate exposure. It's the final boss of exposure. And, I had a chance to interview Miss Karen King last week, and she said, it was the convention when I first came to the convention that changed it for me, right? And I just want to highlight, this event is by far the most important event of the year. And even the new people getting started, you will actually set the tone, the bar very high in their belief, in wanting to achieve, because you're showing them the ultimate exposure here. And I believe people that get the conviction from these conventions, those are the senior directors, the future national directors. And you see this happen time and time again. And that's why even for veterans like Mr. Tim Herr or Mr. Danny Bay, or even like myself, Mr. Steve Hyun, we're all huddling around this next event. We're here at the office promoting, because we understand one move can be a total life-changing event, and we understand how important that is. And wrapping it up with 4 more days, you guys still have a lot of time to squeeze that last pulp out of the juice. Take our word for it. You just never know. Like Mr. Danny Bay said, you don't know who the superstar is going to be. But one thing I'll guarantee you, the people that show up at this event, their lives are going to change. So with that said, thank you so much for having me, Mr. Danny Bay. We're always grateful to you, and we are super excited for this Vegas event. We will see you guys there. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, Mr. Chris Kim, even on Zoom call, last minute, just being in front of an office, he still looks like a K-pop star. You know what I mean?
I love you. But I'm trying to be like you, bro.
I mean, once you're a K-pop star, it never goes away. 4 platinum album, like if you see sometimes when he's doing Zoom on the bag, you see the 4 platinum album right there. Next time, pay attention. Thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Steve Hyun, I know you got a lot of people coming, traveling from even different countries to come here at the event this weekend. Share a few words with us. Thanks for being on the call with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Danny Bay. And, I'm super fired up. That convention is just 4 days away. And I remember just going to my first convention where, me personally, I made a decision 24 hours before to go to my first convention. I remember my first convention, nobody wanted to go with me. I almost didn't go. My mentor told me, Steve, you got to go. I booked the flight literally 24 hours before my convention. And that was my first convention I went to 13 years ago, where I met Mr. Danny Bay, right? But if I didn't go to my first convention, this would have never happened, right? So it was never about the cost. It was the value that was shared to me of how much the convention will change the course of my future, course of my direction of my life, and everything changed. And so I know how important the convention is, because obviously my life has changed over the course of 13 years, because of one convention, right? And continues coming to one convention as well. So, and, past 7 days, literally the past 7 days, I've been focusing on getting more and more new people out to convention as well. And literally just the last 7 days, I believe that we booked, maybe 30 new people to attend the convention, literally in the last 7 to 8 days, right? So you never know who your next superstar is. You heard Mr. Danny Bay talk about it. You heard Mr. Tim Hurt talk about it. You heard Mr. Chris Kim talk about it as well. It's never too late. Don't worry too much about, it's someone from the East Coast, it's impossible for them to come to Vegas and go on a last minute flight and pay so much money on a flight ticket, right? It's the value of the convention is worth so much more than the flight ticket or the hotel cost or the convention ticket. And we want to push hard. You know, we want to push hard. I know everyone is pushing hard right now. I know that this convention, we're going to hear some great testimonials with all the new the senior directors and national director. It's going to be a powerful weekend. I know it's going to be a special weekend where all of us that are on this call right now, it could change really the course of our business for the rest of our Riman career from this upcoming Las Vegas convention. I know we have so many new team leaders coming. We have so many new directors coming as well. I know this is going to be a very, very special weekend, and I can't wait to see all of you in Las Vegas to have the most biggest month and biggest weekend in Vegas as well. So thank you, Mr. Danny Bay. I'll pass the call back to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Steve Hyun. I also see National Director Ms. Karen Kong on the call. Are you able to share?
Hi, sure. Absolutely. This is convention week, gosh, is my favorite week because I am a true product of not only Remon, but of a convention. So is Senior Director Dora. I mean, our entire team would not be here if we hadn't attended that first convention. And I can say that with, I mean, that's just a fact. And it's because as much as we love the products and we love the business and we were super excited, it wasn't until we actually got there that our minds were blown. And I just think, it wasn't, and it's not going to be just this one convention that's going to shape your future or your business, but it's stacking, everything that you learn and building from convention to convention, which is important. This will be my 8th convention, but it's what we did continually, the businesses that we did and how we personally developed and the mindset that continued to grow and change, that was able to build the team from 100 people to 1,000 to 2,000 to, and now to over 20,000 distributors. So it's not going to be an overnight one-time convention success. It's understanding that you're going to become a better leader and learn more as you get in the room with other successful leaders. And it's the conversations that you have. So don't just focus on the product launches and don't just focus on, the excitement and all of that. Like Mr. Tim Her, I think said it's not just about, taking videos and posting all of that on social media. Yes, that is a big part of it, but it's the conversations that you have. The breakthrough was the conversations, the texts that I was sending during the middle of the convention. I didn't even know about this tee up concept until later after I joined Riman, and Mr. Danny Bay did a training on that. Mr. Tim Her did a training on that, but I was already doing it. Sitting at the convention, I was so busy just texting every single person that I had ever even mentioned Riman to for the previous 2 weeks. Like, oh my gosh, this is real. Dude, this company is going to blow up. Every text that I was sending out during those 2 days was like literally like a mind blown text. You guys need to come over on Wednesday. Like I decided that I was going to do a pop-up at my house on Wednesday to like blast all this information literally because I was so excited. I wanted to share it with everyone that said yes, no, maybe, I didn't care, every new person. And I was like, come over on Wednesday, come over on Wednesday, come over on Wednesday. I'm going to share this with you. And I didn't have a full set of products. I didn't have everything. It was just pure excitement. I didn't even care. I just wanted to get the information out to them because everything I learned at convention was just, I couldn't contain that excitement. And I knew this. Okay. So some people, like Mr. Danny Bay says, had, even though I wasn't somebody who was actively recruited and somebody prejudged me saying, oh, Karen's already successful. Why would she want to sell Korean skincare? It didn't matter that I was already successful. So don't prejudge and make the decision for other people. I still wanted to do it. I still wanted another source of income. I wanted a residual income opportunity, even though the lady who gifted it to my mom had no idea. We had never even met before. I was looking for a residual income opportunity. It didn't matter how much money I was making, at the time. I still wanted a residual income opportunity. I was actively looking for one, but I thought it had to be in real estate and Airbnbs. That required a lot of capital. But this skincare business came along so easily. It was exactly what I was looking for. The products were great. The community was awesome. So, I always say, don't prejudge anybody because you never know. Let them make that decision for themselves. And like Mr. Danny Bay said, having the convention this week is such an advantage. It should be used as our tool to recruit last minute. I know our team is on a frenzy as well, recruiting like crazy. And don't assume that they can't afford the plane ticket or that they can't afford the hotel or the convention ticket. Inviting with that sense of urgency is the best gift that we can literally have this week being convention week. Don't let it go to waste. Like leverage it like crazy and get as many people to the convention and let the convention do the work for you. It's going to be amazing. I believe this is going to be the most exciting convention ever for Riman. And like Mr. Danny Bay said, this is the last time that we're going to be able to be in that room together in 2026. Don't miss it. Don't let anybody on your team miss it. But whatever you do, have good conversations with your team while you're there. I've heard this saying before, good leaders have vision, great leaders share vision, or right? I didn't want to botch that, but good leaders have visions, great leaders are able to give vision. That's what it is, are able to give vision. And it's the event that happens after the event. So don't miss an opportunity to get together with your teams at the convention. Don't waste the mornings, the afternoons, the evenings. Huddle, get together, go over everything, and set a game plan for what you're going to do as you leave the convention, because the activities that you do as you walk out of the convention will determine how successful the next 3, 6, 9 months will be. So can't wait to see you all there. Thank you, Mr. Danny Bay. Thank you to everyone. This is going to be the most exciting week ever. And see you all in Las Vegas.
Thank you very much, Miss Karen Kong. I know we got a lot of people flying in. I heard some of the leaders from Spain. They just arrived. They're going to be there. And we got people flying in from Colombia. We got people flying in from Peru. I heard people flying in from Chile. I heard people are flying in from UK. I heard some people are flying in from Italy. I know we got some people flying from Hong Kong. And we got some people flying in from Taiwan. I know it's a North America convention, but this is the foundation. Why do they? I know a lot of us are traveling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, but why are people traveling 10, 12, 15, 20 hours to be here this weekend? Because they know that one weekend could change everything for them, and one weekend and could literally upgrade rest of their lives by investing that one weekend. And, I know Laura's going to be I see Laura on there. Laura's going to be getting promoted, director this weekend. That's going to be super exciting. I know she has a lot of partners from Colombia coming. That's going to be exciting. And one last thing I want to say as we close. It's every single one of us. Doesn't matter where your business is now. Maybe it's exactly where you want it to be. Maybe it's not where you want it to be. But I could tell you right now, every single one of us in our business, we're just one person away from new breakthrough and new momentum. Just one person away. If you've been having 5 months of frustrating time, do you know one person could change everything for you? And the greatest time to get that new igniting fire momentum person in your team is at the convention. So use this convention, utilize this convention, maximize this convention, because every single one of you are just one person away from doubling, tripling, and quadrupling, and maybe even 10x your business between now and at the end of the year. So everybody, please travel safe. Vegas has better restaurants than we've ever had. I just went and ate at the Venetian. A couple of my friends said, let's go eat. We went to this X-Pod at Venetian. They started doing all you can eat. I've never been to a place they give you caviar, all you can eat. I was like, you lost your mind. I was like, let's see who wins. Either you're going to win, I'm going to win. But I mean, they had A5 Wagyu, all you can eat. I mean, like Vegas is going crazy right now with restaurants. And if you haven't experienced In-N-Out, the largest In-N-Out in the world, just opened up in Las Vegas a couple of months ago, walking distance from MGM. I mean, if you've never been to MGM, walking distance is connected to the Coca-Cola world, is connected to the M&M world. If you walk into the Coca-Cola world, there's like, I think, 100 flavors you could try. M&M world, you've never seen 100 different flavors. I mean, like, they got so many fun activities you could also do when you're here this weekend. Let's have fun. Let's be productive. Let's invite. Let's easiest to invite even people last minute to Las Vegas. Let's just get more people here and let's have a great time. All right. Safe travel, everyone. We'll see you this weekend. God bless you. Thank you, everyone.